Welcome everyone to a brand new series here on the channel. I hope you'll stick around as we're aiming to take the Minnesota Twins to the promised land for the first time since 1991. This franchise, like many, has seen its ups and downs over the last 20 years, but one thing remains frustratingly consistent, and it's getting past the divisional series. Our goal? That's definitely one of them, but ultimately we want to bring Minnesota a World Series championship. As it stands today, this roster does not make this road very easy to earn a championship. With the Twins having struggled in back-to-back seasons, failing to reach the postseason, eventually leading them to sell many of their pieces near the trade deadline, many believe 2026 will be no different. Names like Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan, that they might be traded in 2026 as the Twins continue to restock the farm system. My goal as Twins GM would be to keep these big names for as long as possible. It's just really hard to find solid players like these, unless the price is right. You have to consider moves that make sense for the long term, if they come to your desk. There'll be trade block candidates for sure, but it's only to signal interest to field offers. It's not going to be a true intent to move on from them. However, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of a full-on teardown of this organization, since we do have some fun prospects to build around, such as Luke Keeschel, Walker Jenkins, and Kalen Culpepper, positionally speaking, and not to mention some really interesting arms like Dason Hill, Kendry Rojas, and Mick Abel. There's definitely no shortage of talent inside of our farm system, but it's really determining when, not how, we'll see them in a Twins uniform. Our blueprint for success inside of this franchise is extremely simple. Scouting and drafting are must-hits. We need to really invest a lot of time and a lot of energy into these areas, so we're going to hire the very best scouts that we can find in order to make that happen. For trades and free agency, savvy moves will be our calling card. We're not going to be looking to break the bank or make unrealistic signings in season one. And when I say realistic or unrealistic, it's really depending on where our franchise is at, record-wise. That's going to determine how conservative or aggressive that I'm going to be in the trade market or through free agency. Now, I briefly mentioned some names inside of our system that I'm intrigued by, and many baseball fans should already be aware of these guys, especially for this franchise series. We're going to want to get familiar with their game as players I'm looking to build around. Of course, we got to start it off with the cornerstone, or the potential cornerstone of this rebuild. It is Walker Jenkins. He's widely considered one of the top prospects in our system, and of course, one of the best prospects in all of baseball. And his profile is exactly what you want from a franchise cornerstone piece. Advanced plate discipline, legitimate power projection, and he's got the ability to hit for average. And of course, scouts love his approach. He's the kind of hitter who controls the zone and can drive the ball to all fields. But those are the pros, here's the cons. He still needs to prove that he can stay healthy and continue to develop that power as he climbs the minor leagues. If everything's going to hit, he's a middle-of-the-order, all-star caliber bat. And of course, if it doesn't fully come together, you're probably still looking at a really solid everyday outfielder. So either way, he's going to be a big piece of this rebuild. Next up is Emmanuel Rodriguez, and this is one of those cases where if he could just stay healthy, he would be amazing. It's just one of those prototypical player profiles, right? His strengths: he's got elite plate discipline, massive raw power, and he's very strong defensively in the outfield. But his weaknesses are strikeouts, injuries, and contact. Just the consistency piece of that. He walks a ton, he hits the ball extremely hard, but the swing and miss in his game creates a lot of boom or bust potential. Best case scenario, you're probably looking at a 30-plus home run guy in the outfield. That's pretty legit. You hope it all works out. But in the worst case, he becomes a streaky guy who struggles to stay on the field. So very boom or bust type of player. Now this guy's probably my most favorite Twins prospect. It's Luke Keeschel. And he might not get as much hype nationally, but he might be one of the most complete players in our system. He can play second, first, outfield, and offensively, he's a guy that can hit for high contact. He walks, he gets on base, he can steal. Even in the minors, he posted about a 420 OBP, showing that he's got elite strike zone awareness. He's not necessarily a future superstar, but he could become the kind of player every winning team needs. For me, he projects as a top of the lineup guy, either a 1 or 2 hole hitter, potentially a leadoff guy, especially with the speed and high OBP and high contact rate. Plus, I really need him to do well because he's on my fantasy team. Cool thing about the Twins pitching is that we do have some nice left-handed pitching prospects like Connor Prelip, Kendry Rojas, and Dason Hill. Really solid pitchers that I really like, especially kind of mixing in with that Zebby Matthews, right-handed thrower. You got Mick Abel coming up as well. It's a really good mix of pitching. Of course, Prelip's got that mid-90s fastball, really good-looking slider, swing and miss ability. It's not the talent for him, it's durability. It's just being healthy, and that seems to be the major issue with a lot of our Twins prospects. And if there's one pitcher in the system who could potentially become a future ace, it might be Dason Hill. Hill was drafted out of high school and already flashes some truly electric stuff. His fastball has jumped up to 96 to 97. I think it can even get up to triple digits. In the minors, he's posted a 31% strikeout rate, which is extremely impressive for such a young arm. But there's a major issue, and especially with a guy that throws that hard, it's command. It's being able to locate, which means his development will come down to control. He only threw about 58% of his pitches for strikes, which is well below what you'd like to see from a starting pitcher, especially that ceiling. If you're going to become an ace, you got to lock that down. And then you've got Kendry Rojas, another high upside left-handed arm. He's 23 years old, originally signed out of Cuba by the Blue Jays. He was traded to Minnesota in a trade that moved Louis Varland and Ty France to Toronto. And at 6'2", he's the kind of lean guy, the lean pitcher that scouts like to see in a developing starter. Of course, his delivery even hides the baseball too, and when you're throwing about 92 to 96, maybe a little 97, that's pretty legit. He's got some legit stuff. Going back to the positional players, I did want to talk about Kalen Culpepper. He's potentially the successor here at shortstop. Culpepper was a first-round pick out of K-State, and the reason scouts love him is because he brings a balanced profile across the board. Offensively, he's shown he can hit in the minors. Even in 2025, he put together a strong season, hitting .289 with 20 home runs and a .375 OBP across high A and double A. The combination of contact ability and emerging power is what makes him very intriguing. But the real question with Culpepper is consistency. As with any prospect, you want to be able to show that you can be consistent with your at-bats, consistent in the field, and that's why big league teams are going to take a chance on you. Considering options and whatnot, you don't want to waste those opportunities. So if you got to get down to the minor leagues and you got to marinate down there and really work on your game, that's what they want to see is consistency. The biggest piece for his development is can he make adjustments once pitchers start figuring him out? Defensively, he's solid at short and athletic enough to stay there long term, and some scouts even believe he could eventually take over the position in Minnesota if his bat keeps progressing. That's probably the biggest thing. Next player I'm interested in here is the 19-year-old catching prospect, Eduardo Tait. He's already drawing serious attention around all of baseball. He came to Minnesota in a trade that sent closer Joan Duran away to the Phillies, and the Twins clearly believe he could become a long-term cornerstone behind the plate. And the first thing that they notice is the power. In the minors, he's already posted 14 home runs, 71 ribbies, and solid contact numbers for such a young player. But the biggest challenge for him is approach. Right now, he can be overly aggressive at the plate, chases pitches, and expands the strike zone just a little too much. Defensively, though, the tools are there. If he continues to work on receiving and game calling, and those things continue to develop, the Twins may have something extremely valuable. Last player I want to focus on is Merrick Houston. Houston was selected 16th overall in the MLB draft after a huge season at Wake, where he hit .354 with 15 home runs. He's widely regarded as one of the best defensive shortstops in the entire class, with elite range, smooth actions, and a very strong arm. Offensively, they think that he's a little different than Culpepper. They actually think Culpepper might be a little bit better offensively than Houston. He's more of a contact-first guy with a little bit of power. So the expectation isn't that he's going to hit 30 bombs one day, but something closer to 10 to 15 with solid average and amazing defense. So this makes him a really interesting player because his floor is relatively high, and I like that. I like that idea of a really good defensive shortstop. We actually saw that in our Rockies franchise with Ezequiel Tovar. Do I think Houston's going to be next Ezequiel Tovar? Maybe not, but the profile is kind of there. Even if his bat only ends up average, his glove alone could keep him in the major league lineup. Now, as far as the major league talent goes, of course, we have Pablo Lopez down in single A. I do want to kind of replicate the fact that he is out for the season with Tommy John surgery. It's an unfortunate blow for the Twins, but we do have to account for that in this series if we want it to be semi-realistic. Now, of course, looking at our top two players, Buxton and Joe Ryan, again, I'm not really interested in trading them unless the price is right. Of course, Joe Ryan, with his contract, he is up for arbitration in 2027, so really we don't have a lot of true control for him past those seasons here in 26 and 27, heading into 2028. So if there is a chance that I can keep him around for a couple seasons, maybe even sign him to a long-term deal, I would like to do that. There's not very many times that you get an opportunity to get a 90-plus overall pitcher in your organization. So I'd like to try my best to try to keep Joe Ryan here in our four walls. Now for Byron Buxton, the tough part for Buxton is, of course, his injury situations, right? He's constantly finding himself not playing a full 162. Even in 2025, he had an incredible year, but he still found himself getting hurt. I think he had some concussions, some issues there, some kind of unlucky stuff happening to Byron Buxton. But for a long time, he was getting hurt quite often from way in 2018 all the way up till 2024. So really the first true-ish season that he was relatively healthy. Still an incredible player, great on defense. I'd love to keep him around as long as I can there, but he is 32 years old. He's starting to get up there now. So if the price is right for a playoff team, maybe the Mets, maybe the Dodgers. Ooh, dare I say the Dodgers? If the price is right, we can kind of dip into their farm system and get some really good minor league players. I would be more than willing to consider that. Now, outside of Joe Ryan here with our starters, of course, Taj Bradley, Bailey Ober, Simeon Woods-Richardson. I don't really know how I feel about Simeon Woods-Richardson. There's times where he blows up. I've seen it in so many starts. There's times that he blows up and other times that he looks like he's unhittable. So he's kind of a little bit of a bipolar pitcher. I would love to see more consistency out of SWR. Now, for Bailey Ober, I'm not a big Bailey Ober guy. He has shown some promise in some starts and some seasons, like 3.98, 3.43. Like last year, he just blew up, and I don't really know what happened in 2025. But I'm hoping that we get more of this Bailey Ober here in 2026. But I watch a lot of his starts, and he's really effective with, of course, the circle change and his off-speed stuff. You can see the usage there. His circle change is used 29% of the time. He's got sliders, sweepers, curves. He's more of a junk ball pitcher, right? Big guy that throws soft. He's very deceiving. So maybe potentially, if we're going to hang on to him, he's going to be upwards of 30 going into this franchise series. If he's going to be a guy that could be a long reliever or something, that would be an option, the better that our pitching gets. Now, two guys that I actually like a lot, I like Mick Abel and I like Zebby Matthews. And the thing with Zebby is he can throw hard, but he doesn't know where it's going. That's the biggest thing for him. Now, control is rated at 75. His clutch is down to a 41. His hits per nine are pretty bad. 46 against righties, 27 against lefties. He struggles in these areas. So what I would like to see Zebby Matthews do is really focus on limiting the contact. You've got the stuff, so let's try to limit the contact and really start going for those strikeouts because you are a strikeout pitcher. So let's focus on that. Let's build this guy up, and then potentially he could become like a 4, maybe a third line starter. Now for Mick Abel, he's had himself a really nice spring. I'm really impressed with how Mick Abel has bounced back this spring compared to what he put forth with the Twinkies. He had that really great start for the Philadelphia Phillies last season. He made his major league debut. He looked really good. And then it seemed like major league hitters figured him out. And it's kind of the same thing here with the Twins as well. But across 10 games, it's very, very limited sample size. So I can't rake him over the coals there. So I can't get after him too much about that. We'll see how he progresses in 2026. But in real life, in spring training, he is looking like he's figured it out. Now for our relievers, this is definitely going to be an area that I focus on improving. I like Justin Topa, but he's 35. We've got a lot of age in the relief side of things. So we'll focus on that. We'll try to get some shutdown relievers. I think this is an area that could easily improve in one offseason. For our closers, we definitely need a lockdown guy. We got Trevor Rogers, 35 years old, 75 overall. Liam Hendricks down there with the Saints. I think we can do a little bit better there with our closing. We'll find a young guy that's got some velo. Now for catchers, I did talk about Eduardo Tate all the way down here at top 50 prospect. Really interested in him and how he progresses, but Jeffers is 28. So he's getting up there just a little bit. He's still a solid player for us for quite a long time, but it's going to be something that we definitely want to keep our eyes out for. He is getting a little older. First base will be a position that we absolutely need to focus on, and lucky for us, the show loves to give you big time hitting first baseman in the draft. So we'll focus on first base. Josh Bell is more of a stopgap, like a guy that we need to fill some holes here for, what's his contract? 1 out of 1. There you go. So he's a 1-year rental, Josh Bell. Maybe we'll look to trade him. If we can acquire maybe a young first baseman that we want to try out or something, like maybe Cody Clemens is probably not the answer, okay? Cody Clemens probably not the answer. Good player, solid player, but he's not going to be the answer at first base long term. Royce Lewis, one of my favorite players here on this Twins roster, but he also has had some issues with staying healthy and on the field. Like even back in 2022, I think that's when he first came up. Yeah, that was his rookie season. We had 23, 24, and even in 25. Like he's had some issues staying on the field too. But of course, the big thing with Lewis is it's pretty much all or nothing. He's going to go for the home runs. Home runs come in bunches, but he's not going to get on base. He's not going to hit for a high average. The book is pretty much out on Royce Lewis. So if anything, what I would hope to see with him in this franchise series is just to improve more on that contact and get on base. Then he can be a legitimate threat at third base. But at 26 years old, maybe that's just the kind of player that he is. Maybe that's just what we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have to be in a fork in the road position with Royce Lewis. What do you want to do with him? Are you going to get rid of him and move on and try to find something a little bit more consistent? It's going to be up to us to ultimately decide and see where we go with Royce Lewis or without him. Now at shortstop, Brooks Lee, 25 years old. I kind of like Brooks Lee, but he's just one of those dudes that, again, doesn't have a lot of juice. And I think that's the biggest thing with this franchise is we need more juice. We need more speed. We need more power. We just need more electricity inside of our roster. Like Brooks Lee, when I think of shortstops, like I want a guy that's going to bring that element to the game. I want a Fernando Tatis Jr., when he was playing shortstop, making incredible grabs up there in the gap. Even out in right field, he's doing awesome stuff, throwing people out. But Bobby Witt Jr., like we need something like that. And Brooks Lee it doesn't offer that, right? He's okay defensively. He can get on base. He's got some good contact numbers, but he's not dynamic, right? He's not a player that's going to like take you over the top. Same thing with Orlando Arcia, just another bench guy, another bench bat. Ryan Kreidler, as a Tigers guy myself, I made this decision, and even looking at his spring training numbers, like I could not get past the idea that Arcia was a AAA guy and Kreidler was on the major league roster here. So I just made this change right now. Arcia is going to be our backup shortstop and maybe split some time with Brooks Lee. But of course, all eyes will be on Kalen Culpepper as we hope that he is going to take this position to the next step, the next level. Hoping for some Culpepper to be that dynamic guy that I'm looking for. Outfielders, we got a couple young guys right here with Gabriel Gonzalez, but again, we're kind of in that middle of the road where these players they are what they are. Like Trevor Larnach is not going to be a guy that, again, takes us to the next level. He's 29 years old, doesn't offer too much. Austin Martin, prospect inside of the Pittsburgh Pirates organization that never really panned out too much. So I'm just hoping that we'll hit on this in the draft. We'll make some savvy-looking trades here in the outfield, and hopefully our young prospects like Walker Jenkins, Rodriguez can come up and they can do a little something, provide some more, again, electricity inside the outfield. Same thing here with right fielders. We've got Rosario, we got Spain, Hess, Winokur, and then Matt Wallner, who's solid, but again, a player that on the Dodgers, he'd probably be a bench bat. On the Yankees, he'd probably be a bench bat. So it's just where we're at as a franchise, as an organization. Interesting just to see the prospect promotion incentives. So if we did call up Tate, Jenkins, Rodriguez, or Culpepper, we would get incentives for draft picks there. So that's just something that we're going to have to watch out for in case there's an injury or in case there's a spot where they've got a struggling major leaguer. This is something that I want to keep my eye on for sure. Now, before we get too far inside of this franchise series, I did want to take a quick break with the roster preview and the gameplay and all that and talk about the settings and the sliders that we're going to be using here going into this franchise series. So first things first, the difficulty. We'll be using Hall of Fame / Legend hitting. Maybe if we can get to GOAT, maybe. We'll see how that all works. But I do find enough of a challenge here on Hall of Fame. And for pitching on Legend, I actually do have quite a bit of success and also some failures there too, with pitching difficulty being at Legend. We'll also use normal fielding difficulty and everything else pretty much on default. Umpires will go with personalized because I do like that variation of umpires getting some things wrong. Of course, then we can use the ABS system in there. Injuries will be turned on, and we'll have to manage that and manage them smartly, intelligently, right? So we'll have that on. Balks I'm going to turn off because I do kind of like to get through some games relatively quickly. Obviously, more realistic if you leave those on, but I do like to get through games and highlights as quick as I can. Post-game autosave will be off as well, just so I can manage that on my own. For hitting, we're going to be using the catcher camera view as well as for pitching. So I have seen a lot of other creators use the catcher for the pitching side of things, and I actually do kind of like that because it brings me back to the MVP 05 vibes. I do like that. And then for the fielding view, we're going to go with broadcast, and I feel like that's going to be a nice transition from pitching in this view from catcher view, and then of course into the broadcast view for the fielders. Now for this one, you guys are going to have to let me know what you prefer from what you're watching on YouTube. Do you prefer your creators using zone, or do you like them using timing? I have used timing in the past, and not that I've really struggled with it, but I feel like you just don't get as rewarded for the good timing that you do have. Obviously in real life, you can have great timing, but if your contact is a little off, you might foul tip it. You might even just mishit it as well. So it does add a sense of realism to the series, but I feel like if we really want my skill to determine the outcome of a hit or an out, then zone is definitely the route to go. So just really kind of want to get your guys' feedback there on what you prefer to watch. For pitching, I could go a ton of different ways. I could use meter, I'm fine with that, but I feel like, again, it's more so the user input is going to predict how the pitcher does, and maybe that's not as realistic. Pinpoint, I know a lot of Diamond Dynasty people use it. A lot of people love pinpoint. I'm not much of a fan of pinpoint. I feel like it's a little too harsh on the user. Of course, I don't really use pulse at all. Pure analog, never really use that. Classic does have that sense of realism, just like timing for hitting, just because when you're locating it down and away doesn't always mean that you're going to hit down and away. Of course, with meter, it's just timing at that point. Like, you can hit down and away all day long, and it's your skill that's determining the outcome there. Sometimes for pitching, just so that it allows for that sense of realism, I do like classic. So I'm kind of leaning towards classic, but again, you guys let me know what you prefer. Now, as far as sliders go, everything is turned on to default for hitting and CPU. This could change as we go forward if things get a little too easy or even a little too difficult. I might even turn some of these things down, but I will be transparent and let you guys know what is changing on each episode. Now, as far as any tasks are concerned, I do turn this on all to manual. So I'm going to be managing every single aspect of our franchise just so I get that sense of realism and that I'm a part of every single success and every single failure. Every decision will be coming to Doug Gold, the GM. One thing I didn't mention in the slider section was the trade frequency. I'm going to move that all the way to the left because even if you have it at a 1, guys, a lot of trades go through with this new trading system. So we're actually going to pull it all the way to the left just to make things as realistic as possible. With major leaguers flying all over the place, I think this is the most realistic I can get it until they put a patch out or something, but we're going to put it all the way to the left. And then as we get to the deadline, the actual deadline on July 31st, I'll put it up here at maybe even a 4. Maybe not default at 5, maybe a 4. But for now, we're just going to leave this at a 1. So with the roster preview out of the way, sliders, settings, all that stuff, we are finally going to get to what everybody's been hoping for, I would hope, is opening day. We've got the Baltimore Orioles going up against Trevor Rogers, their ace. We got our ace on the mound, Joe Ryan. Let's get it underway, guys. We are officially ready for a brand new season. Roster has been previewed. Roster has been set. Let's get it underway. 73-89 is our current projection to be 4th in the AL Central. And I gotta say, as much as I want to be optimistic and positive, I gotta be realistic. I think that that's about right. And going up against Trevor Rogers here in opening day, 9-3 record, over 100 innings pitched. He had a really, really good second half of the season for the O's. He's their clear-cut ace of the staff. He might give us some fits here in opening day. Buxton 2 pitches in. Had some good timing on that, but was just a little late. If we were a little bit earlier, maybe you got that PCI just a little bit higher. I think that might have been a home run. Lineup there, we got Brooks Lee, Jeffers in the 2-3 hole to start us off. Brooks Lee on a 1-2 pitch, grounds out here to Gunnar Henderson. Only a couple steps, and Brooks Lee might have made that a little closer. Got to work on the speed just a touch. Ryan Jeffers in the 3 hole. We love how he hits against left-handers, and he's going to make Rogers pay here with a first pitch double. Love it. Sliding in safely head first. Be careful. We don't want any injuries here on opening day. Carantini's our backup catcher. We can't have that, okay? We cannot have that, Mr. Ryan Jeffers. You need to stay healthy. Royce Lewis, first pitch swinging. Lewis thought he could get around in that inside fastball. Same thing as Byron Buxton, just a little late. Royce Lewis had the same fate. Little fly out there, but first pitch hacking. Want to try to work Trevor Rogers just a touch. Joe Ryan, first batter up. 0-1 pitch to Jackson Holliday. That's a leadoff solo shot. Not a good start here for the Twins. Jackson Holliday gets the Orioles on the board, and it was a moonshot. 400-foot blast. Risky location there. If you miss, opponent can put it in the seats, and that's exactly what happened. 3-2 pitcher to Gunnar Henderson, and we got him looking. 93 on the 4-seamer, and Gunnar did not take the bat off his shoulders. New look Orioles lineup, adding Pete Alonso and Taylor Ward this season. Of course, Pete Alonso, a major threat in the box for a home run. Extra base power for Pete Alonso, and he does just that. 452-foot blast. Another solo home run given up in this very inning. These are not cheapies, folks. No cheapies here. Joe Ryan struggling a little bit here in opening day. Got to find a way to get out of this inning. 0-0 pitch here to Taylor Ward. Base hit. And that's not a cheapie either. Exit velo over 100. Ryan's fastball has not had any life to it by the looks of it. He's having a hard time getting up to 95 at least. And it's been hammered. We'll call a little mound visit here. Only 11 pitches in, already 2-0, only 1 out. We got a 1-2 pitcher to Jeremiah Jackson. Mislocated sinker, but we'll take it. High and inside pitch. Liked it a little too much. That's number 2 for Ryan. 0-1 pitch here to Colton Cowser. Popped him up. Josh Bell should take care of that one. It's got a little wind action up there, getting caught in the jet stream. But Josh Bell will take care of it. Hey, look, you made the out. You're going up the bat. Well, 0-2 pitch. Slider there from Rogers. Caught the outside corner, and that's strike 3. Matt Wallner, how about you try? Little ground ball. Nice play by Trevor Rogers. Quickly, 2 up, 2 down. You're in the top of the second. How about Austin Martin? He hits lefties really well. A lot of contact, good vision. But 2 pitches in, creates an out. Sometimes it's really tough because when that is coming in and it's hittable, you got to go after it. So I like the aggressiveness that we're showing right now, but we're just not having anything to show for it. Here's a tough play for Joe Ryan. He's got enough hustle there to get Jordan Westberg. He's got a lot of speed. Surprised that Ryan got over there. Big man Josh Bell couldn't cover first base, apparently. Luke Keyshaw slings it back over to first. 2 outs. 2 quick outs here for Joe Ryan. We needed this one. And then Tyler O'Neill swinging through the sweeper. So that's a really good inning. Good bounce back inning from Joe Ryan there in the second. Let's go to the top of the third. We've got Victor Carantini getting the strike 3 called on him. And, you know, as a catcher, you think you know the strike zone. He's going to ABS challenge this, and the majority of the baseball was a ball, but it did catch just a sliver of the strike zone. One down here, first pitch, hacking is Luke Keeschall. There you go. Little double there in the gap, little shoot in the gap there for Keeschall. Thought about possibly going to third, but not enough speed. Maybe if he got 90 speed, I would have tried it. But it's a one-out double. Want to try to get this comeback on. Down by 2 runs. Every base runner is important. So I love Luke Keeschall's ability to go the other way. 0-1 pitch here to Byron Buxton, who missed a home run in his first at-bat. But there that man goes. It's a Buxton bomb. 446 in the seats. Goodbye baseball. That was the hardest hit ball of the day so far between both teams. We have 3 home runs in total, but 114 with a launch angle of 24.4. I mean, that was an absolute bomb from Byron Buxton. Unfortunately for the Twins, that is all that we're going to get in the top of the third. Let's go now bottom 3. Jackson Holliday, who hit that home run earlier, is going to ground out there to Royce Lewis. How about a 2-0 pitch to Gunnar Henderson? We do get the good timing, but still it's a base knock. Sometimes it's best on best. Somebody's still got to win. Henderson's going to roll in there with a double. Thought about going to third as Martin bobbled it just a touch in the left field corner. Didn't really cost us another base. I think Henderson definitely would have had that bag anyway. It would have definitely been a double. It's going to get Pete Alonso here. Nice little payback pitch right there. Nice strikeout. And then we're going to get Taylor Ward to fly out there. Wallner's got decent speed out there. He's got this one at the line. Good tracking. Nice catch in right field. Ryan likes it. He's had 2 scoreless innings. Looking pretty solid so far. Top of the 4th, we're going to start it off with another quick out here. Royce Lewis, again, can't get around to the fastball. Going to send it out to right field for an easy out. How about Josh Bell? Just a little underneath on the circle change. PCI, could have had it. Could have had it. But I feel like that's been the epitome of the game. Just so close. So close. How about Matt Wallner? Can strike out. Rogers, yet again, a scoreless inning for him. And jump to the bottom of the 4th. 38 pitches now for Joe Ryan. He has been efficient in his last couple of innings. Keeschall, ground ball right to him. Easy throw. For out number 1, Jeremiah Jackson grounds out. 0-1 pitch here to Colton Cowser. Taking a little bit off on the fastball. Hitting 95 still. But that'll be in the gap over the wall. Ground rule double. So 1 out, extra base knock for the O's. Looking to do some more damage here against Ryan. Carantini's calling for the fastball in here, but we're going to go slider. We're actually going to ignore his recommendation. Take a look at that pitch. Joe Ryan, nice spot there for the slider. 5th K for Ryan. Now he's got Rutschman in an 0-2. And we've got the bear down pitching going on. We have not used it yet with Joe Ryan. We got 3 to use. We're going to use one right here. 0-2 pitch, the sweeper, and we got him. Little ground ball into the outfield. Keeschall's got this one. That's the end of the 4th inning. Again, Joe Ryan, a nice, clean inning. Let's jump now to the top of the 5th. We got an 0-2 pitch, but Rutschman says, no. That looked like a strike. And you know what? It was. Just nicked the corner, apparently. Strike 3. Austin Martin goes down. How about Victor Carantini? Can he get something working here? Outside pitch, a sinker that should have been a ball. And another fly out to right field. So it's, again, just this keeps popping up. We're so close, yet so far away. 39 pitches for Trevor Rogers. Make it 40. Keeschall sends this one out to right field. And again, a nice catch out there by Tyler O'Neill. Keeschall can't believe it. That is 2 times he's been up to bat. 2 times he's sent it out to right field. One he got credit for, the other he didn't. Tyler O'Neill, how about this? The bottom of the 5th, nobody's playing him that way. I mean, nobody's playing him straight up. We're actually all shifted over to the pull side because he's kind of a pull hitter. Well, Jackson Holliday here with nobody down. Bottom 5 after that leadoff double. Keeschall's got this one. Out number 1. 0-1 pitch here to Gunnar Henderson. Fastball, low and away. That doesn't stay low and away. Deep drive to right center. Buxton's looking up, and it's gone. 2-run homer for Gunnar Henderson. And again, no cheapie at 4:04. Ryan gives up his 3rd home run of the game. It has not really been a nice showing from Joe Ryan. He's got all the strikeouts, and he was in line for a quality start. He was working for one. but he has struggled to keep the ball in the ballpark. That's one for Holiday, one for Alonso, and now one for Gunnar. It just has not been an easy outing for Mr. Joe Ryan. We do get Alonso to pop out. Next batter up on a 3-0 pitch. I guess the game plan today for the O's, be aggressive. 3-0 pitch to Taylor Ward. He gets the fastball, and he puts a good swing on it. Base hit, 2-2 pitch there. Jeremiah Jackson going to take that one. Another strikeout for Joe Ryan. So, again, he's getting a lot of strikeouts, getting a lot of Ks, but the long ball has hurt him. So we're going to actually jump all the way to the top of the seventh. 2 outs, 2-2 to Matt Wallner. And, again, the Twins cannot get the offense moving here against Rogers. And even despite the offensive struggles, we're still in the ballgame. So we'll call on David Festa just to keep the game close. 1-2 pitch to Jackson Holiday. Lead off, base hit. Yes, it's going to fall. Buxton actually got a good read on it. But even with the speed and the reaction rating that he's got, he couldn't quite get there in time. Gunnar Henderson, 1-1. Another pitch on the outside corner, and Gunnar goes deep. Second home run of the game. It's now 6-2. And that one was not over 100 miles an hour on the exit velo. I like to look at that just to see if it was a cheapie or not. But it's still a 2-run home run. Now we're down by 4. And now in bottom of the 8th inning, we've got Rutschman going to go extra base hit with 1 down, no less. We just have not been able to shut these guys down. It's been extra base hit after extra base hit. And now look at Tyler O'Neill does it again. It's now going to be 7-2. Wallner fires it back in. He's going to hold O'Neill down to a single. And now we're just looking just to get out of this thing. So we do get the ground ball. Josh Bell, nice twist. Brooks Lee back over to Bell for the double play. But we'll now jump to the top of the 9th. 0-2 pitch against Helsley. And he just tosses a little slide piece in there. Of course, when he throws nearly 100, he tosses the slider in your way ahead and, yeah, way out in front. So this was not a good showing. 2 runs, 3 hits, compared to 7 runs across 14 hits. Our pitching just did not have it today. 9 hits for Joe Ryan, giving up 8 strikeouts with nobody walked. So it was a really weird outing for Joe Ryan. So we'll hope that he gets on track in the next outing. Little minor league update here. Kalen Culpepper, 3 for 4. You like to see it. Kendry Rojas across 4 innings. He gave up 5 knocks across 5 strikeouts in the relief pitching. Did fairly well. We still lost the game. It was a very close one, but still, a loss is a loss. Now we will simulate this one. Matt Wallner had 2 home runs in this game. 3 RBIs. Went 2 for 5. Buxton also had a home run. 1 for 5. His only hit. 11 hits as a team. 10 strikeouts. We got to cut down on the Ks. But Bailey Ober pitched well. 6 2/3. Had a quality start. Hopefully in this rubber match with Taj Bradley on the mound, we can get another good pitching performance and get the offense to carry that momentum here in game number 3. So we will be player locking Taj Bradley. I like the amount of strikeouts that we had with Joe Ryan. I want to kind of get my revenge here with Taj Bradley on the mound. A 1-2 pitch. We do have 2 quick outs right here, but Alonso stays back on the cut fastball. And I don't know what Pete's doing here. He is not fast enough to be trying to pull this off. A double. And Matt Wallner off the wall. Go figure that. He lets the wall be his friend. A little one-hopper off of that, and then just fires a strike to Brooks Lee, who's got the tag, and he was out by a mile. Beautiful job there on the relay. Not really even a relay. We didn't have to throw to the cutoff guy. It was a straight throw from Matt Wallner. It was just beautiful. Taylor Ward strikes out. Taj Bradley's got another one. Yeah, it's a beautiful pitch. Just didn't time it the right way. 1-2 to Jeremiah Jackson. We get the call. Strike 3. 97 on the black. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to take. You got to swing the bat. How about Colton Cowser? You're going to go down 2. See you later. Taj Bradley, 3 strikeouts. He's pitching well here. 2 outs. Man at first. 1-1 pitch. And we do get a ground ball. Should be an out. Brooks Lee makes a nice athletic throw to get us out of the 3rd. So still scoreless on both sides. Twins offense still struggling here. Taj Bradley needs some run support. Bottom of the 4th. Pete Alonso's up, and he cracks this one to left field. Nobody's going to get to that one. That's going to score the first runs of the game for either side. Alonso slides in safely into second. We still don't have anybody out. RBI double for Pete Alonso, the polar bear. 1-2 pitch here to Taylor Ward. Can we get an out? Yes, sir. Nice split finger fastball right there. 91. Bradley's got another K. It's 4th of the game. 2-2 pitch now to Jeremiah Jackson. We like that fastball. It'll play anywhere. 97. This one hits 96. Jeffers has got this one. That's out number 2. Let's jump now to Colton Cowser's at bat. Let's see. He struck out here before. We're going to challenge him yet again. We're going to bear it down, and we get the called strike 3. So even though the Orioles scored the game's first run, we do shut down the mini threat there. That's all they're going to get. Let's jump now to the bottom of the 5th. Jackson Holiday, base hit. First to third, no. Not going to challenge Buxton's arm. He does throw Lewis off the bag, though. Maybe they should have tested it. So with 2 outs, we'll see. Does Bradley get another shot? He's going to. Gunnar Henderson. Cut fastball was supposed to be low and away, and it caught way too much of the plate. Very hittable, but 0-2. Curveball, 12-6. Goodbye. Mini threat for the Orioles. Nothing doing. Bradley shuts him down here yet again. Our offense, man, is struggling. But we do get a run in the top of the 6th. We'll jump now to the bottom of the 6th. 1-2 against Alonso. Can Bradley win the battle yet again? Yes, sir. Another 12-6 curveball. I'm liking Taj Bradley. 7 strikeouts for Bradley in this one. 0-1 to Taylor Ward. Ground ball, base hits. I like a line drive, actually. 1 hop right past Brooks Lee. Maybe he could have had a play on it. Taylor Ward's not that fast. I think he probably should have had him. So Jackson's up. 0-0 pitch, ground ball. Brooks Lee diving. He can't handle it, can't corral it. It's going to be another base hit. And that is actually going to do it for Bradley's day. Derek Shelton, the manager, comes on out, says, "Thank you very much for your services. Hit the showers, my friend." But that was an incredible performance by Taj Bradley just to keep us in the game. Yet again, our offense really struggling here in the early going. Usually happens for a lot of teams. It's hard to get the offense moving after spring training. It's cold out there in Baltimore, I'm sure. 5-4. We do score 3 runs in the top of the 9th to try to come back. Buxton 2 for 5 with a homer. Trevor Larnach 3 for 3 with a homer. And that was pretty much our offense. Unfortunately, we're getting good pitching performances, but again, that offense has got to find ways to scratch across some runs here. Even in this one, we simulate first game of the series against Kansas City. We're still on the road, by the way. Keishel went 3 for 4. Jeffers had another home run. So we're getting the extra base pop going, but stringing together some runs and some rallies, it's been a struggle here. So we do sim that game. We will get the win. Now we get this one. Luke Keishel. Top of the 9th. We got Carantini at first. We can't have that. So we're entering. You got to be aware of these situations when you go into critical situations like this. So Outman will replace Carantini at first base. Keishel offers on an 0-1 pitch. Again, high and inside. We're late yet again. CPU seems to like to attack us there. We got to be ready for that. So 2 outs. Royce Lewis has already got a home run in this one, a solo shot. We'll see if he gets another one here against Matt Strom. You like the matchup, lefty-righty. Here it comes. Lewis, right down Broadway. Goodbye, baseball. How far did it go? 435. Lewis with a 2-run shot. No solo there. Twins will take the lead with a 2-run shot. Bama Soda, I love it. 114 off the bat. Whew. That was a moonshot. Royce Lewis, thank you very much. I'm getting the vibes with this team that we don't string together a lot of long innings or any rallies. Like, we just hit a lot of home runs. A lot of doubles, a lot of home runs. That's basically our offense. It seems like it's all or nothing. Either way, we got 2 outs after strikeouts. Thank you, Cole Sands. How about a line drive out to center field? Kyle Isbell. Thank you very much. Game over. Twins will get the dub. A comeback win, no less. This is the first time all season. Maybe I should wait till the middle of the year to say something like this, but this is the first time that we've been over 500 on the year. It's very early, but it's worth noting. Maybe we're on to something here. Mick Abel kind of struggled here. 3 walks, only 1 strikeout across 4 innings. Zebby Matthews came in to do a little bit of mop-up duty there. And I thought he pitched fine just to keep us in the ball game. So we will simulate the final game of the series here. We will end up losing it, so we didn't get the sweep. Would have been nice, but again, our offense, it's a lot of extra base hits, everybody. Look at Buxton with 1, Bell, Lewis. I mean, Joe Ryan still continuing to struggle here, so hopefully he gets this thing going in the next couple of starts, or else maybe I'm kind of forced to trade the stud. Like I just said in the opener that I didn't want to do it, but if the price is right, we got to consider it. A quick scan across the league, across the standings. We got some surprises everywhere. The Marlins 6-1, the Padres, you kind of expect that, but the Dodgers with a losing record at 3-4, that is surprising. And then you had the Oakland Athletics. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that. The Las Vegas A's, right? They're 6-1 as well. So guys, that'll do it for this one. I will see you back here for our home opener against the Tampa Bay Rays with Bailey Ober on the mound, and we are not going to be wearing the City Connects on the home opener. We are definitely not going to be doing that. We're going to do the traditional whites, maybe even the cream jerseys for the opening day game. So I'll see you guys in that one. Leave a like if you like this thing. And again, let me know what your thoughts are about the settings, if you'd like me to start changing that up from meter or PCI or zone, right? Do you want timing? Let me know in the comment section, and we'll talk about that as a community. But either way, I'll see you guys next time for opening day action for our Twins against the Rays. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.